which is dumb. Here's your food. Eat it. You want a napkin? Too bad. We ain't got none. Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the 10 reasons why I will never, ever fly AirAsia again. And I had actually signed up for their rewards account too, because it's really cheap to use AirAsia to fly around Asia. I mean, they're the spirit of Asia. It's terrible, but it's really cheap. So I had thought that I would use them a lot, but my trip to Bali, I'm sure y'all getting tired of me talking about it, I decided that was gonna be the last time. I'm not gonna do that to myself anymore. And I don't know if you can tell, but my makeup look is inspired by AirAsia's flagship colors. I've actually never worn red eyeshadow before, so this was fun to do. Alright, so the first reason that I have written in my notes about why I won't be flying AirAsia ever again is the premium and the business class, so the most expensive seating class, has no in-flight entertainment at all. They say on their website that they'll give you an iPad if you're flying premium and business class and you want some in-flight entertainment, but I have yet to receive one, and I've flown their premium seats 4 times now. I've never seen these quote-unquote iPads that they have. I don't think they exist. So otherwise, their seats have no in-flight entertainment at all, period. And when you're not flying premium or business class, their economy class has really strict weight restrictions. My friends were flying economy on our way out to our last vacation, and they were told that they got 15 kilograms. That's it. 15 kilograms, and they got charged for every extra kilogram. One of my friends ended up paying, I think, $110 more, and literally for that price you could have flew business class. Like, there's no reason that they charge so much extra just for you to get a suitcase. Like, basically you can't pack a suitcase. Like, it's essentially carry-on only, because I've definitely had carry-ons weigh 15 kilograms. Food. When you have these premium and business class seats, they let you pre-book the free food that you get in the flight. However, I learned during my flight that the pre-book food, the pre-book food is trash. It doesn't matter what I learned on my flight or not. The pre-book food is trash. You get like 3 options, and if you deviate from those 3, then you have to pay out of pocket. It's not a whole lot, but still. And then not only that, it isn't served well. Like, when I've flown United business class, I get like an actual plate, like a whole plate, and my food comes on it with real silverware. And of course a tray, because it's normal. You even get trays economy on the shittiest of airlines. They handed me just my hot food, like the little hot aluminum thing that the food comes in. I just got that and some plastic silverware, and that was it. Nothing else. No frills, no bells, no whistles for my plane ticket. Here's your food. Eat it. You want a napkin? Too bad. We ain't got none. But here's the kicker. So I got to pre-book a free meal. Cool, fine. You know, I'll take this food. I paid for it. But they have an in-flight magazine that has a whole menu of things that you can pay for to get as food, and it had so many better options. I was so jealous. I was just like my homegirl literally bought sushi. Now, sure, you could say, why would I trust in-flight sushi flying from Indonesia to Malaysia? But that is beside the point. She was fine. Her stomach is a champ, okay? But either way, there were so many better options in that menu book in flight than what I was allowed to pick with my premium ticket. So that made me pretty annoyed. One thing I want to touch on before I go too far past the weight restrictions point was there are inconsistencies depending on which airport you fly in or out of for the weight restrictions. And not just with the weight restrictions, but with the price that you pay for going overweight. For example, On our way out of Korea, so we were flying out of Incheon Airport. My friend was charged so much that her 17 kilogram bag, I think, ended up costing her $110, right? But on our way back home, leaving out of Denpasar Airport in Indonesia, her 17 kilogram bag only cost her like $80 for some reason. When we were leaving out of Denpasar, no one weighed my carry-on. They were just like, oh, you got a carry-on, that's good to go, cool, bye, see you, ma'am, get on, right? But then when we were leaving Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur Airport, they made me weigh my carry-on before I went to my gate. And if it was over 7 kilograms, you had to essentially figure that shit out, right? So all of our carry-ons were over 7 kilograms. And you know what the solution was? We just had to move things from like one carry-on to like a backpack or something so that your one carry-on didn't weigh more than 7 kilograms. Which is dumb. Because let's say, which I did, I had 11 kilograms of stuff in my carry-on, but I also had a backpack. I don't know how much that weighed. They didn't ask me to weigh it, right? So I had 11 kilograms of stuff in my backpack, and it's not like that stuff disappeared. I just put the overage of 4 kilograms into my backpack. So I don't know, maybe this has to do with weight disbursement, but either way, the overhead bin was gonna get the same amount of weight up there. All 11 kilograms were still gonna go in the overhead bin as soon as I popped my backpack up there, and my backpack probably weighed even more. My backpack itself probably weighed 7 kilograms. So now either way, you're getting 14 kilograms in your overhead bin. Why did it matter that it wasn't all in the same bag? Now maybe if one of you are more into math than I am, can answer that for me, by all means, drop that in the comment section. But it made no sense to me, and it especially made no sense because they didn't weigh it coming out of Indonesia. They only weighed it coming out of Malaysia, and they also didn't weigh it leaving out of Thailand or leaving out of Korea. Okay, so in flight, I mean, I guess budget airlines attract a certain customer, I guess. I don't want to, I mean, I don't want to say that with confidence because I could have afforded a different airline myself, theoretically, but why should I? And I feel like actual wealthy people feel that way too. Like, just because you can pay more than $35 for a plane ticket, why should you? Right? You catch my drift? Why should you pay more for a plane ticket if you don't have to? So I don't want to generalize necessarily the passengers on AirAsia. However, we had a rough ride. So I guess I should blame the flight attendants. The flight attendants did not put any guests in check for anything that they were doing at all. It was wild to me. People were playing music and iPods out loud without headphones. Children were just going crazy, and to include running around the aircraft like chickens with their heads cut off. And then honestly, this is just something that drove me personally wild. I feel like I was in the middle of like 8 babies, and it was all of their first flight. Like, none of them could handle it. They were all just losing their proverbial poop, and they probably were losing a lot of poop. Either way, the parents were letting their children do whatever they wanted. The flight attendants were letting the parents let their children do whatever they wanted. I was not a fan of that. And that leads me to my next point. One of the flight attendants on our flight actually got into like an argument with the passenger. Now, I was a couple rows behind, so I don't really know what it was about. I think it had to do with food. I think that passenger also had pre-booked food. And whatever it was, they weren't satisfied with something or other. The flight attendant kind of got mad at them for being mad, I guess. It was kind of weird, obviously, to see a flight attendant arguing with the passenger. But then not only that, that flight attendant, I mean, he must have been the only flight attendant on the whole aircraft, because he was also the only person passing out food and drinks, and they were a few rows ahead of me. So it took me 30 minutes to get a pop, because even though I had a pre-booked hot meal, it did not come with a drink. So I had to wait 30 minutes just to buy a pop to have with my pre-booked trash food instead of getting any of the better options that they keep on the flight. Another issue that we had was getting on and getting off the plane. So we didn't even board the plane until our takeoff time. That's number one. We did not board until our takeoff time. And so obviously we didn't take off on time. That's how that worked out. And then to top it all off, when we landed at our destination, same plane that took off late, when we landed at our destination, there was an issue with the parking brake for the aircraft. So we couldn't get off the plane on time either. We had to sit on the runway for 20-30 minutes just for them to figure out how to park the thing so we could get off. And we had a very long layover. We weren't in danger of missing the flight. But on our layover, we had plans. And they were all essentially ruined because we took off late and then we couldn't get off the plane on time. Thanks, AirAsia. So yeah, I didn't take many breaks in between my points, but altogether that was 10 reasons why I will never fly with AirAsia again. It is a budget airline, so I guess my expectations shouldn't have been too high, but I just, expect the bare minimum, and I feel like in a lot of ways they didn't really meet that, at least not my bare minimum. I guess I have higher standards than the barest of bare minimum. I mean, we made it, we flew there and we got back, that was cool. But the inconsistencies, the discomfort, I mean, the seats were tiny. Like, I didn't even go into that. Like, yeah, I was in premium for most of my flight, but for 2 parts of my trip, there were no flatbed seat options. I had to sit with everyone else just in the front. And I mean, my knees, they were not okay. And we were flying with a guy who was well over 6 feet tall. Poor guy. I feel bad for him, I do. So AirAsia had a myriad of issues, and I'm over it. I'm already over it. I won't be doing it again. Some of my friends flew other airlines like Garuda Indonesia and China Southern and whatnot, and they had a much better experience than us. So I will just shop around a little more. Alright, if you guys want any other videos like this, I can't guarantee when the next time I'm going to be taking a vacation, so I can't say I'll be reviewing another airline anytime soon. But if you want to check out my other content, make sure you like this video and hit that subscribe button and even ring that bell so you know the next time I'll be dropping some content. And I'll see you guys next time.